Totri, we're talking the future of Arizona State, right?
Correct.
So I have my top 10 class of 2042 candidates ready to roll. Let's get into it.
Happy Hump Day, and welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show. I'm Anthony Totri, joined as always by my passenger princess, Erik Ruby. Of course, we've got the deli man behind the Mac making all of the magic happen. Do us a solid. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. JJB in the chat, he's switching up. He's just throwing out Willie Bloomquist's name.
The first ever non-basketball comment from JJ.
It's unbelievable stuff. We got Jaren already in the chat talking college baseball. Don't worry, we will get into Arizona State getting bounced from the Big 12 tournament in just game one, but we'll have that a little bit later on in today's program. The meat and potatoes of today's show, though, is going to be talking about the future. That's right, the future of Arizona State football. Is it AJ Ia? Is it Jake Fetty? Is it Kyson Brown? The list goes on and on and on, Rubus, of guys that are on this team as underclassmen, and even guys that haven't even enrolled yet to Arizona State that could be future stars for the Sun Devils.
It's exciting.
It is.
It's exciting.
Are you
That's
excited?
all I got.
That's all you got? Wrap it up.
The
it's
second show in a row, we're wrapping it up
We're
2
good
minutes
here.
in.
We're good here.
I'm sorry. I'm just looking at this baseball box score and just thinking back to what happened earlier today, and it's just, come on. 0 runs?
Yeah, 0 runs for an offense that's one of the best in college baseball. Yeah. And Jet Fish in today's show. So what's up, boys? Keep smacking Arizona, making me proud. Of course,
thanks,
Coach.
Jet Fish.
We got you, Coach.
Excited to see where you land next after you decide you're done.
Florida. He's going to go rebuild the Gators after Billy Napier is done. Ain't that right? Big Ten Jet. Ben saying it's never too early for a pregame show. Are we doing a football pregame for ASU and NAU? Should we do that at some point this offseason?
No, we're doing a pregame show for ASU and U of A.
Football?
Way too early pregame.
Yeah, way.
We do have coming out at some point, I think over the next couple of days, our initial way too early Big 12 football power rankings.
Yeah, that should hopefully be out depending on
depending on cut it.
What production can get done. Hopefully in the next either couple hours, maybe a couple days. We'll see.
About holding on to it until after Christmas.
Till postseason.
Yeah.
Post spring. Yeah. I think that's actually a good time to do it.
Our way too late off-season Big 12 power rankings.
Dude, why don't people do that? That's I'm gonna do that after the NBA season's over. After the national champion or after the finals, I'm going to say, here's my way too late power rankings, and then just rank
the standings,
the teams. Yeah.
Gosh, that would be really good stuff. Amanda saying it was horrific. Willie looked nervous before the game.
Everybody's already getting into baseball, man.
I know.
Yeah, Sharon, it was worse than what the box score showed.
It was tough. It was definitely tough. But before we get into the bad news, let's get into the good news. And that's, of course, the future of what is at Arizona State. Now, for this conversation, we're taking out guys like Sam Leavitt, Jordyn, Tyson, Xavion, Alford, players that are already stars, right, at Arizona State that we're going to go into this season, and there's going to be a lot on their shoulders. This is more a conversation of like, okay, Sam, Jordyn, X, they're not here anymore. They're in the league, thriving, doing what they're going to do. Who is next to really take over and help lead this program to another successful season, right? Because how often do we talk about this season being the turning point for ASU, right? Where last season it was a Big 12 championship, but you got to prove you're not a flash in the pan, right? You got to go be competitive again this year. We're talking even down the line. Let's say Arizona State repeats as a Big 12 champion again. We're talking 2026, 2027. who are the guys that you are looking to, Rubis, to really take that next step?
You want me to start?
You go ahead.
Sam Leavitt. No, I'm kidding. Technically an underclassman. One name that I'm going to be looking at very closely this entire season is Montana Warren, because Montana Warren, redshirt sophomore, right? So it's still been around college football for a while now. Was thrown into a tough spot at the end of last year in the Peach Bowl when Shamari Simmons was out for the first half. Didn't have the greatest performance and now is expected to step into that starting nickel spot for Arizona State. I don't care what Ward says. It's a very important position. I don't care if it's simple, whatever it is. It's going to be a very big key to this defense getting back to or better than the level that it was on last year.
Yeah.
Because you talk about missing players, Shamari Simmons is at the top of that list of the players that have moved on to the NFL, and Montana Warren is one of the few players that will be new to their starting position for Arizona State next season. And if he could step into that, which I think he will, and do that really well, going into next season and beyond that, if he doesn't go to the league, that's going to be something that's going to be fun to watch on the defensive side.
Yeah, I think, we talk a lot about how good this defense is going to be. Returning 10 of 11 starters, the one player that is going to be different is the one you mentioned, right? Montana Warren. Like, if this defense is going to live up to its expectations, then you're going to need Montana Warren to really step on the gas and not be a step down of what Shamari was, right? And I don't think by any means that he would be. I think Montana is going to be a really, really solid player. We were talking his true freshman season about being in the rotation at the safety spot before he went down. And I think if Montana is able to have a really, really good season, it's going to add more firepower to what Brian Carrington and this coaching staff can do in terms of recruiting, right? Because Montana Warren recruited to ASU as a safety, right? So he plays safety. Then you convert him to a nickel corner spot. Same thing with Shamari, right? You had a guy that primarily was a safety. Now we're moving him to corner, and we're not moving him to the perimeter. We're moving him inside. To where it is in most defenses, like you said, kind of regardless of what Brian Ward says, is a very complicated position to play at nickel, or maybe complicated is the wrong word, but just difficult in general.
It's a key position
because of the responsibilities that
I would say maybe not as difficult as far as you have the most responsibilities, but maybe the highest stakes, as if you mess up, like you're going to get exposed for big plays.
Yeah.
And we saw that against Texas. Right, you make one or two small mistakes at that position. That is something the other team can take advantage of pretty quickly.
What is it about Montana for you that? And again, there are a lot of young players on this team. You only listed him as your one defensive player. You got one defense, one offense. What about Montana for you was kind of the selling point to be like, okay, he's the one defensive guy that I could see being a future star here.
There's a couple other players in the defense that you look at and you think to yourself, like, there's a path there. Montana has all of the physical attributes and the tools to be a star on the defensive side of the ball. He's been in the system for multiple years, but it's the brain, right? And also, I think being thrown into the fire last year on such a big stage in the Peach Bowl is going to settle down a lot of the things when it comes to playing a regular season next year. And I have this faith that up here between the ears, he's going to be able to thrive in that position and be a standout on this defense.
Yes, I would agree with you. I think he's going to be a really solid player for as long as he's at Arizona State. Now, Montana, again, in terms of eligibility, you mentioned redshirt sophomore. He was a part of that first class with Kenny Dillingham, so Keith Abney as well, CJ Fight. That list kind of goes on and on. Deliman, who do you have for one of your future stars on this roster?
Well, let's stick with the defense. I like Chris Johnson.
Johnson?
That's one of those guys because of what this secondary staff has been able to do with these players. When we saw Montana Warren the first day of, what was that? That Camp T after his first spring, we were very impressed.
Yeah.
And we've seen similar strides with the back end of this defense as a whole. I know you're going to talk about somebody. Tony Lewis and Kuba's another guy. Like they're one thing that they all have in common is their length, and just the ability to learn from everybody above them. So I'm looking at Chris Johnson as a guy who can make a huge step this year, especially with what we are excited to see and what we expect to be a solid secondary. But depth is definitely a question.
Yeah.
Because of how inexperienced the 2s and the 3s are. Chris Johnson being one of them.
Yeah. It's so interesting to me. And again, like you bring up a DB, Shane, you brought up a DB. I'm going to bring up a DB here in a little bit. But like for such a long period of time, I feel like when we were talking about Arizona State's defenses or the defenses of the past, like corner and safety weren't really the conversations that we were having, right? We were having conversations about maybe some edge rushers or linebackers. That used to be like for Todd Graham's defense, like those were the guys on the defense. Mm-hmm. And now really since Dilly got here, like think about the defensive backs that Arizona State has managed to have over the last, 2.5, 3 seasons. Now, again, you have to kind of remove yourself from that 3-9 season, but you had guys like a Ro Torrance, who was one of the taller DBs in the Pac-12 at the time. You had a guy in D Ford who was a lot of fun to get in the transfer portal. You've got a Keith Abney. You've got Javen Robinson. Now we're talking about the future of this position, like whether that be at the nickel spot in Montana Warren, or you go back to the safety and you talk Tony Lewis and Kubo, or you talk Chris Johnson. Like the caliber of defensive back that Arizona State now has in their recruiting is so vastly different than what they were doing 5 to 10 years ago. Yeah. Right. It's a lengthier, more athletic. It's a more versatile player that can play in the box that you can remove. You can have him be a traditional 2-deep safety. It's really, really fun to see the defense kind of evolve right before our eyes at Arizona State.
And you saw that last season, and you saw the effects of that had in big moments as well, creating turnovers, shutting down opposing quarterbacks.
Well, you go back to that Peach Bowl, right? Yeah. Like, think about all the big plays that were made in that game. Javen Robinson had an interception. Shamari, as soon as he got
even the Big 12 championship interception, even against BYU, right? There's a big interception. Yeah. The defense in general last season made some very big, timely plays, and the secondary was at the forefront of a lot of them.
100%. I'm going to round out the defensive conversation of future stars with a guy that I think is going to have a pretty big season this year. That's Rodney Bimage Jr. He is somebody that I have just been banging the table for since spring football started, saying that this kid was going to be something this year. He has grown. He looks more comfortable in this defense. Overall, he just looks like a better player. I wouldn't be surprised if he is the first corner in the 2-deep. Outside of Keith Abney and Javen Robinson, right? This is a kid that has worked his ass off over the course of the last several months to really be in this position. And I think he's going to surprise some people. I think there are going to be some folks at the end of the year that are like, okay, is Keith going to the NFL, which he could if he wants to? Is Javen going to be gone? And when they do ultimately end up leaving, whether it's this year or beyond, I think Arizona State's going to be in a really good spot with a guy like Rodney Bimage that, again, is another one of those versatile players that can play in coverage. He can play against the run. He can kind of do it all for ASU.
It was for me, because we aren't picking the same players. Yeah. It was between Bimage and Montana Warren.
Yeah.
As far as defensive players for me, I agree with everything that you said. And I just want to see this team play. I want to see this team play some football, man.
Still over 100 days until kickoff, Rubis.
I kind of stung a little bit.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. We haven't even hit June yet.
Almost there.
We're almost there. We are almost there. Some fun stuff on the PHNX Sun Devils show happening in June.
Yeah, we're going to have a good time in June.
We'll have a great time. And then you got Media Day in July. It's going to go fast.
Yeah.
It's going to go fast.
Frisco!
We'll get to the season.
We're coming, Frisco.
Are we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What is there to do in Frisco besides Media Day?
I mean...
Drink.
Dallas is 30 minutes south.
Is it? That's it?
Frisco's right outside of Dallas.
Okay. So it's not that terribly far. Well, we did that in Dallas. Yeah. So
Texas overrated, though.
As a state?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Not a fan.
From my one trip there? Agreed.
Houston is horrible.
Houston's horrible. I've heard great things about
San Antonio's fun. Austin's great.
Austin, yeah. I've heard good things about Austin.
Great, but
I had fun in San Antonio.
Yeah, San Antonio's great. Austin's great. Everything else is horrible.
There's a lot of everything else.
There's a lot of everything.
It takes too long to drive everywhere, and like everything's 40 minutes away. Like when I was in Austin for the 4th, like 2 years ago, everything was 40 minutes away.
Is it the most overrated state?
Yeah, it's not even close.
Not even close.
It's not even close.
What do you
because the other 2 states you think of that could be overrated, New York and California, they're not.
Yeah.
I've never been to New York.
They just simply aren't. Like New York is exactly
gotta get in that Heisman ceremony.
And California, everything is farther, and sure, there's a lot of people, but you can get over that.
Yeah.
the scenery is amazing.
I think LA itself is overrated.
Oh yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of being in the
LA is expensive garbage.
Well, LA, if you have the wrong mindset, is going to be bad. Like if you know you're going to LA.
He said it's a you problem.
I'd rather go to San Diego or Sacramento or
San
Francisco. San Francisco.
Sacramento is crazy.
Give me a beach city, but Sacramento over LA.
Have you been to Sacramento?
Yeah, a number of times. I have a family in Sacramento.
Oh, I'm sorry for them.
Jeez.
That's horrible.
Sacramento over LA stuff. I can't lie. That's all.
LA is expensive garbage. I will stand on business when it comes to that. But that's just me.
I'm a big Quartzsite fan. Or is it Blythe that's in California? Which one's in California?
Blythe is in California.
Huge Blythe fan.
One of the best barbecue places I have had in my entire life is in Blythe.
Is it next to the McDonald's?
Everything's next to
It's
McDonald's.
called Rebel Barbecue.
Rebel
Barbecue, I don't care if it's a free ad, is single-handedly maybe the best barbecue that I've ever had. I don't know if that establishment is still open since the last time I went there was pre-COVID, but my goodness, was it a special, special meal. Highly, highly recommend. I've never been to Fresno, Sharon, so.
Totri's just big inland California guy.
Inland, yeah.
We're talking about California. Totri's like, well, I like the worst parts. Give me Riverside.
Oh, dude, it is. Yeah, I've been to Rebel Barbecue. It's pretty good. Yeah,
it's pretty good. My goodness. Yeah. Let's take a trip. Let's just take a day trip to Blythe.
PHNX Sun Devils takes over Rebel Barbecue.
Go get some barbecue. Let's call it
4 stars. Over 1,100 reviews.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal place.
Stay a night at the Red Roof Inn. Eat at Rebel Barbecue.
We're full of free ads today. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. Just to recap the defensive future stars that we think are on this roster. I said Rodney Bimage. My passenger princess here, Rubis, said the one, the only Montana Warren, and the Daily Man back there said Chris Johnson. We've all got some offensive players now that we feel like could certainly make an impact for the Sun Devils down the line. But before we get to those guys, we are going to take a quick break. We've got some big news, ladies and gentlemen, from Sanderson Ford. They just announced From America for America employee pricing. So now you pay the same price as the owner of Sanderson Ford on the full lineup on new Fords with, of course, no hassle, no pressure, no nonsense, and a big one here, no added markups. And on top of employee pricing, get additional Ford incentives on over 1,000 vehicles during the Sanderson Ford Platinum 70th Anniversary Sale. Choose Sanderson Ford because they have the inventory and they're celebrating 70 years of treating you right. Now is the best time to buy a new Ford from Sanderson Ford with From America for America employee pricing. In celebration of their 70th anniversary, make sure you stop in and get a pair of tickets to an Arizona Diamondbacks game just for stopping by. No test drive is required. Now, it does exclude 2025 Expedition, Super Duty, Raptor family, Mustang, and Bronco specialty vehicles. 1 pair of tickets per household with valid driver's license to that July 6th game versus the Kansas City Royals while supply of 200 tickets lasts.
Whether you're buying a nice barbecue meal in the middle of Blythe or paying for a vacation in Frisco, everybody needs a checking account, even just on your day-to-day. So why not get a checking account with built-in benefits? That's where Mountain America's My Style checking account comes in with perks just for you. Talking restaurant deals, mobile phone protection, telehealth access, identity protection, loan rate discounts, offers on travel and events, and so much more. You can enjoy all of those things because you want to make My Style your lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union. Visit macu.com/mystyle to apply. Insured by NCUA. Membership required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no cost registration and activation. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply. Make My Style your lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union.
Also, dramatic effect here.
Dun, dun, dun.
There you go. That's exactly what I was waiting for. We've got a newsletter, ladies and gentlemen.
No way.
We do. And it's completely free.
No.
Yes, completely free.
I figured I'd have to pay tens of dollars for that.
It's literally free.
Wow.
All you got to do, go phnx.com/newsletter. The biggest news in Arizona sports is going to be in your inbox daily at 6 a.m. You don't got to do anything. You just got to go over there.
You just got to sit there.
You just literally sit there and accept the information.
Some people might have a hard time reading, but it's good practice.
It's just going to be there. It's just going to be there. Choose to read it, choose not to read it. Maybe you only read it Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. That's totally fine.
No, it's not.
It's going to be there. It's not okay. You're saying it's
or
not okay?
maybe you binge it all. You get to Friday and you binge the PHNX Daily.
But then you might be a little bit behind.
Yeah, but better late than ever.
I guess that's totally fair. Again, go phnx.com/newsletter.
It's free, folks.
PHNX.
Hey, can I
Daily.
say something really quick?
You can. This podcast.
Something's really bothering me right now. There's not enough likes on the video.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even see how many likes do we have right now.
No, let's not even say the number out loud. It's embarrassing.
Is it that embarrassing?
It's
right now?
embarrassing.
Wow, it is embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
Guys, hit the like button. What are we doing here?
Hit the
Come
like
on now.
button.
I expect more from chat.
Is there anybody else on the defensive side of the ball that you guys were considering picking?
Probably not. Not off the top of my head. Maybe Martell Hughes.
Yeah, there aren't many options other than Martell Hughes that isn't in the secondary.
Yeah.
Because
defensive line is just transfers.
And CJ Fight.
Yeah.
and CJ Fight's a junior. So.
Exactly. Which is just disgusting to think about.
Yeah. I remember his action figure as a freshman.
If Plass was not injured.
Yeah, that's fair. Torn ACL definitely isn't great. But
again, another defensive back.
Yeah, another DB.
Lots of DBs.
Albert Smith. Albert Smith is an interesting name at redshirt freshman. He's a defensive end. He's big. He's big for a redshirt freshman.
Where's Ashley Williams?
I don't know these days.
Wasn't he a Raging Cajun?
He was a Raging Cajun at one point. I don't know if he's still there.
God, he's big.
He was a big man as a freshman when he was here. Did some things on the field that we swore our life away.
Who did he abuse that one day?
Well, we swore secrecy that we would not say.
Oh, I remember who it was.
Yeah.
I think we should say it because he swore secrecy that he'd never leave me.
Did he swear that? Wow. Well, I mean, if you want to throw it out there, you can.
Yeah, that's fine. He's a Miami Dolphin.
That's unbelievable. Unbelievable stuff. Okay, moving to the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Passenger Princess, you can, of course, go first here.
Once again, you took my pick. And that's okay.
Listen, man, I don't know what you want from me.
We're all super high. This is where I am going with Sam Leavitt. No, I'm kidding. I'm going with Jaren Hamilton. Okay. Super excited about seeing what Jaren Hamilton can do with Sam Leavitt, with this offense this year. The speed is incredible. And I'm curious from your guys' perspective, do you feel like if everything goes to plan, Leavitt, Tyson move on, if Jaren Hamilton returns next year, can he be wide receiver 1 for this team?
Ooh.
Let's pump the brakes a little bit.
On Jaren Hamilton?
Well, I love him so much. Trust me. We don't even know if he's going to consistently be a target this year.
I think he'll be consistent. I think he'll consistently be a target.
But there are also multiple transfers that are going to be trying to share the ball too.
Yeah.
He's behind 3 guys probably.
He might start. He might start over Malik McClain.
Yeah.
At the, what's it called? Opposite Jordyn Tyson.
Yeah.
So that still has to be determined. I think a lot of what Jaren Hamilton will do this season is going to depend on how fall camp goes for him. If he's able to build off what he accomplished in spring ball. If he's able to beat out Malik, then I think he has a big season. I think he provides obviously more speed.
What about your sweet boy?
Which one?
Aren't you? Is Noble? Is Noble?
No. Jalen Moss.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's starting in the slot.
He's older.
Yeah, he's starting in the slot. You've got Tyson outside. Hamilton plays a Z. So we'll see if he ends up starting. And I think he could. Like, my opinion on Jaren Hamilton grew mightily over the 4 weeks that we saw for spring football. Now, having the conversation is, can he be a wide receiver 1? I think that's a tough conversation to have.
And doing it in spring ball is a lot different than doing it in
100%. Right? Well, I mean, you look at ASU wide receivers, and this is not a knock on them, but how many of them look really good in spring ball? And then, like, the offense just isn't, like, it doesn't really feature them, right? Yeah. Xavier Guillory is a perfect example.
Marcus and Douglas
is not really an example.
God, I miss the Rhino, man.
The baby Rhino.
He is now the Rhino man.
He's just the Rhino man. That's tough.
I miss the Rhino man.
I don't. That's an interesting question. Is, can he be wide receiver 1 in the future?
I mean, it's a big ask. It's a big ask.
I also just don't see him as wide receiver 1. He's not an X.
Yeah, he's not really an X. That's more the issue for me, is like when you're looking at Jordyn Tyson as the X.
But Jordyn Tyson also developed into an X by being able to do many things, but he looked like more of an X coming into it. He had everything.
I think if in this is not necessarily a knock on Jaren Hamilton. This is more just, again, he's a young wide receiver who hasn't really played a ton at this level. Right now, he's a speed guy, right? If you're going to be a number one wide receiver at this level, like, and you're going to be playing the X, you have to be able to do everything, right? You think about the number one wide receivers that Arizona State has had over the last half decade, right? Jordyn, Tyson, Elijah Badger. I'm blanking on the dude that's a San Francisco 49er.
Ayuk?
No, the other one.
Pearsall?
Ricky Pearsall.
Ricky Pearsall. Brandon Ayuk was longer than 5 years ago, gentlemen.
I didn't hear you say that before.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They all, yes, they were fast, but they could also run in routes. They could also block. That, like, there's so much more that goes to their game to be a number one wide receiver. And I just haven't seen it yet from Jaren. Not that he can't do it.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen it.
I wasn't saying that he's going to be. That's why I asked the question. Right? Like, do we think he has the tools?
Well, I felt like I tried to answer it.
And I appreciate that.
I had to really walk myself through.
And I like that. I appreciate that.
What do you think Jaren's going to be able to do this season?
This season, I mean, William in the chat says he's going to get 1,000 yards. I think that's...
You don't sleepwalk your way to Alabama.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. You don't. I think he'll be an effective player. I don't know exactly what his numbers will be like because, again, I don't know how often he's going to be targeted, but it feels like he's going to be a big, like, yards per reception guy, like get like 22 yards per reception, just be like a big play.
A speed guy.
Not a big play merchant because that feels like it.
Which they haven't
it's
had.
a negative.
A speed guy take the top off guy?
When's the last time they had a burner, like a true burner?
Back when Totri was on the team.
That worked. Like, you know, you had your guys that specifically ran go balls, like Malik McClain is one of them.
I don't know if they had, like...
I can't think of the last guy they had that was just like...
Ayuk? Was he the last
Yeah,
burner?
but he could do everything.
He wasn't like just like, oh, that's the speed guy.
You're talking just speed.
We get like a specific...
Giovanni Sanders? That count?
No, it does not count. That's a slot guy.
He was fast, though.
He was fast.
Yeah.
He wasn't
speed.
He wasn't. You have to game plan around.
So do you have one?
Like you have to game plan around Jaren Hamilton. It feels like. Speed wise, you do.
Speed wise, yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Speed wise, yes. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. If anybody in the chat has a good answer of like who was the last true speed guy, not somebody like Shane said that like could do it all like an Ayuk, but somebody that was just like, I'm fast. You have to guard me. Like Devin Lucien, a long time ago. I don't know, man. I don't have a good answer.
This is the part in the podcast where people are screaming at the screen.
Yeah.
Say this name.
Yeah.
Say this name. I don't know, guys. Just put it in the chat, and we can
comment
definitely
if
get
you're
to
watching
it.
post.
Yes, please. Deli Man, who do you got on offense? Obviously, from Jaren Hamilton to the backfield for you, correct?
Yeah, going to the PNW, Jason Brown Jr.
Mm.
I was that Wyoming game in general was a fever dream, like from the first play, right? That was the first offensive snap for Wyoming.
Was a pick.
Yeah.
It was the first drive.
Yeah.
I don't know if
It was like the second.
It was like
yeah. I wasn't even back up in the press box yet.
Yeah.
I literally heard
it. He's like, "What happened?" Pick six.
Yeah. Like that game was just a total whooping.
Yeah.
And we got to see JBJ in this game. He already has a nickname because he's that good, in my opinion. That kind of set me up for failure a little bit because I was very excited and I didn't think they were gonna, they redshirted him, correct? Because he only played one game. So I didn't think that was going to happen. It did. Obviously, you don't really need other running backs when you have Cam Scatterbo.
Yeah,
I think he's going to get a lot more run this year. And yeah, I was 4 carries in that game, so like not a big sample size at all. But he seems like a guy that can just do it all in the backfield. Like he has every tool. He can run you over. He runs strong. He's fast. He's quick. He's got great vision. For just a freshman, I mean, there's a reason why he was the top recruit in last year's class. So
yeah, I'm really interested to see what the role is for Jason Brown this junior, simply because you still do have a pretty loaded running back room, right? With Kanye and Tyson and Ralik. So where does that leave Jason Brown Jr. Or JBJ, if you will? I think for me, he's definitely a goal line running back, a short yardage running back. Just because he's already hard to tackle. He's got such a low center of gravity because he is a smaller running back. And when we had Kanye on, we asked him, we're like, who's somebody that surprises you in the weight room? Who's somebody that like you'd be kind of like shocked if people asked like, who's the strongest dude in the running back room? Mm-hmm. I'd be like, yeah, it's JBJ.
He's 5'10". 5'10".
He's not 5'10".
Yeah, he is.
He's listed at 5'10". He's not 5'10".
He looks 5'10".
He's not 5'10". I would bet my life that he is not 5'10".
He looks 5'10".
Well, when was the last time you saw him in person?
Yeah, well, I haven't. So
He's not 5'10". Sorry, Jason, you're not 5'10". He is somebody that is, I think, going to be a very special player at ASU. I think the one thing that is going to hinder him potentially is the fact that he is a smaller sized running back, right?
But he's 5'10".
He's not 5'10". What's Ralik listed at?
5 foot.
Flat? That's tough. That's tough.
Let me see. I think
he
5'8".
is at 5'8".
They're about the same height.
Ralik's 5'7".
They're about the same height.
No, they're not.
They are.
No,
they are about the same height, brother. I'm telling you, I was at it every single practice.
I should believe you, but I can't.
He's definitely not my
Since
dad.
we got like very slightly off the rails, something came across my timeline, and it's just
this
so
is
funny. It has nothing to do with ASU.
Nothing
whatsoever,
at all, by the way.
But it's
Jason
so
Brown
funny.
Jr. though, real quick before you take it to wherever you're taking it, I think he's going to be a really good running back. I'm not sure how much he contributes this year though.
Yeah, we're talking about the future though. So, SMU football tweets, getting it done in the classroom. Clapping emoji. This semester marks the highest full semester GPA in program history. Do we want to guess what the GPA is?
9.
2.95.
2.95 is the
insane.
highest
in program
GPA
history.
in program history.
What would happen to you guys as kids if you came home and that was your GPA? Anything?
Oh, I
As
would
kids
not
or
have a social life.
Like what does a kid mean?
You are like
High school?
let's say 8th grade freshman year, right before you just started high school.
I would not be allowed to go. My GPA would have to be higher than that. I wasn't allowed to get a single C in high school.
Yeah. Same thing.
By the way, SMU Mustangs started playing football in 1915. Just so that we're all on the same page here. It has been over 100 years, and the highest collective GPA of their football team is 2.95.
Congratulations, though. Congratulations
huge
to this group of Mustangs. You know, for getting that point.
There's so many questions because, like, how? But also, how are we posting this? Like, do we?
Well, dude, that will always never cease to amaze me.
I don't know.
People like Orlando Magic, it's like our assist leader of the year, and it's like 2.7 assists per game. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, you don't need to post this. This isn't even a sponsored post. This is just them. Also, have we seen the classes that some football players have to take? Like getting a 2.95 in like studies of the general earth. Like, come on, what are we doing here?
Oh my gosh, I don't know, man.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Let's see.
Anyway, back to ASU.
You would also hope that they were better. If you're not paying attention in class.
I mean, they were a college football playoff.
Yeah, I mean,
team.
they're in the college football playoffs.
Well, yeah, obviously 295 though. Like,
yeah,
they tried this year. I'm saying the past 20 years.
Yeah, past 110 years.
Well, I don't know how long they've been keeping track of the GPA.
GPA didn't exist 100 years ago.
It did. It probably just stood for something else.
William says belt to ass kind of GPA. Okay, speaking of belt to ass, who do you have putting belt to ass in the future for Arizona State's offense?
I didn't expect belt to ass that much. AJ at the tight end position for Arizona State. I think he's a future star.
Is anybody
Arizona
not
State.
high on AJ?
If they're not high on AJ, then they don't know what they're talking about because this kid is, like I said, in spring, the single best freshman tight end that I've ever seen in Tempe as a Sun Devil. He's got the size. He's 6'6", 255 pounds. As a true freshman. He's probably going to be bigger by the time he gets back to fall. He can block just as good as the older tight ends on this roster. He can catch the football. He's a walking mismatch because he's 6'6". His chemistry with Sam Leavitt grew week over week in spring football. I feel bad for NAU when they see him week 1 because you're going to see him, and you're going to see him a lot this year. I think you're going to see probably some 13 personnel for the Sun Devils with Sam Leavitt because they just have a plethora of tight ends. And AJ has the potential to be potentially the best one that has ever stepped foot on campus at Arizona State.
I remember watching his film when he committed and being like, oh, crap. This guy is good.
He's a dog.
And you always feel that in certain senses when you watch somebody's high school tape and they're getting recruited to college, they make good plays. And you're like, oh, okay. I remember watching before looking at what his size was listed as. And I'm like, oh, this guy looks big, but oh my God, he moves so fast. He moves like a wide receiver. And then going and looking at what he was actually listed as and not believing it.
By the way, he's definitely 6'6".
He's definitely 6'6".
Yeah, he's for sure
6'6". When we talked to him at the spring game, I was legitimately looking up. And I'm 6'4".
Yeah.
So.
He's a big man. He's a very, very large man. And the scary thing is he's only going to get bigger, right? Like he's a true freshman.
I know. Well, this is my favorite part of covering like a college football team is going from spring to Camp T.
They look so different.
I remember like some of the freshmen. I'm like, oh my god. The one that sticks with me, who never actually ended up playing for ASU, is Josiah Cox.
Oh,
he put on like legitimately 25 pounds.
Where is he now?
He was at UNM, but then he transferred again.
That you're going to say UNLV.
No. Everybody's at
UNLV. He's part of the Rebels.
Maybe. Let me see. But yeah, he looks like this without even a full summer weight program.
Yeah. It's going to be scary when he gets back on campus in the fall. Big Ten Jed saying, wow, Todd Heap, Zach Miller, Totri, slow your roll. That'd be great. Yeah, I know that ASU has had some historic tight ends.
You're saying that you've seen with your own eyes.
San Diego State was correct, by the way.
San Diego State? I was too young to watch those two at ASU in their time. I know what they did in a Sun Devil jersey. I'm telling you, this kid is special. And I'm going to stand on that. I'm not wrong here. AJ Ia is going to be a good tight end. I'm not wrong. I'm very high on AJ. This is like if there was any player that if there were betting odds on like success of individual players throughout a college career, the betting odds on AJ Ia to be successful in college as a tight end would be like minus 500.
Sure.
And that's probably selling it short. And for those of you that don't bet, that would be considered a ridiculously safe bet. Just throwing that out there. We did have some answers earlier to the speedster wide receiver conversation. Jake Smith was on that list. Technically, he was very fast. Technically, he was a fast wide receiver.
Technically speaking.
Can I be nasty?
We don't need to be.
Okay, then never mind.
We don't need to be nasty.
No, I want you to be nasty.
Okay.
Do it. Do it.
Tim White, also on that list. Okay. Former Baltimore Raven, if I'm remembering correctly. He was a speedster. The opposite of a speedster.
Frank Darby.
Yeah, but I don't know if he was considered like just a speed guy.
Well, but I mean, he was opposite of Ayuk, and like that was his thing. I don't know.
His thing was just being a goofball.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody has ever had better vibes than Frank Darby.
Yeah.
True.
Like, he's just an overall vibe guy. I wish he would like be on the staff somehow as like a.
Remember Jade Daniels deep ball to
vibe
Brandon Ayuk against Oregon?
Gosh, dude.
We should have known.
That I mean,
we actually did.
We did know.
Yeah.
We did know. I never actually got to do a season on this show with Jaden Daniels.
Is this a safe space? Can I admit something?
You can.
I purposely hated on Jaden Daniels when he left because I was like, this guy's not going to be good.
Why?
Because I was just sad.
You didn't think he was going to be good?
I know, like I did, but I was just like, no, there's no way he's going to be good. And then he goes to LSU. I'm like, then he wins the Heisman. I'm like, there's no way he does on the next level. Like, knowing deep down he's going to.
He does what he does.
And then he just becomes like one of the greatest rookies of all time. And I'm just like, yeah, this dude's kind of the truth. But that's a personal thing with me. That's not a football.
You are a hater.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
He in college. He's gotten a lot better at this. He is one of the worst watches if you're a diehard fan because of how every play you're like, oh my god, he's dead. He's dead. He's dead.
That was my whole stupid take was that he's not going to be able to get hit in the NFL.
But he doesn't.
I know because he gets the ball out so fast. Because his little VR training that he does.
And he goes down.
Well, he also that's crazy.
That's funny.
I feel like he also got better at reading like defenses and going through his progressions.
Well, you know why?
Because of the VR stuff.
He had a nerd.
Because the quarterback whisperer.
Yeah, Brian Kelly.
Your sweet boy.
Kenny Dillingham.
Not my sweet boy.
Yeah, your sweet boy. No, you're his sweet boy.
You're right. Yeah.
He
also had some pretty talented wide receivers.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes, but
it was all Brian Kelly.
No, it's not all Brian Kelly. That's Brian Kelly's thing. Like there were a lot of areas where he needed to clean up his game, and we saw him get so much better in that year at LSU.
Yeah, he did. I mean, you think about.
Why are we talking about Jaden Daniels? Let's move on.
You brought it up.
I don't know.
You said, "Hey, you guys remember Jaden Daniels, Brandon Ayuk, deep ball?" Speaking of quarterbacks, and we're talking about the future of the team, are we not mentioning a freshman quarterback? And is that a disservice to Jake Fetty?
A future freshman quarterback.
Yeah, future freshman. I was gonna do Dyer.
I also think it's Jake Fett.
Is it Fett?
Yes.
Fetty's cooler.
I think it's
Fetty is a better quarterback.
His nickname is Fetty Wap. There's some guy that calls him now El Passer is what they call him, which I think is great.
That's pretty good.
I was going to put Cam Dyer on my.
I really like Cam
Dyer. But I didn't
want
to. But I didn't want to do the 2 highest recruits in the last 2 years.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
So
still a dog.
Yeah,
we would.
I think we're doing Cam Dyer more of a disservice than we are.
I think that quarterback competition when Sam's gone is going to be a fun competition.
Is Butter still coming here?
Butter's still here. He's here. He was in the spring.
I know.
It's going to be tough, I think, because when Sam is gone, like the 3 quarterbacks that you will have on the roster before you probably add a transfer are going to be Fett, who is a top 10 quarterback nationally.
So his nickname's Fetty Wap, and it's not Fetty.
I know, it's weird.
That's dumb.
You're going to have Cam Dyer, who was Gatorade Player of the Year twice in New Mexico,
but didn't commit as a quarterback. He committed as an athlete.
But he was dressed as a quarterback when we saw him.
He was dressed in a quarterback jersey, yes.
Yeah.
He is by far like the best build of any of these younger quarterbacks. He's taller. In theory, he just looks bigger, more like a prototypical dual threat quarterback. And then you have Butter, right? So you've got 2 guys that arguably are going to be ahead of Butter in this competition already based off of, Dyer's bigger. He's got a better body to be a Division I quarterback. And then you have Jake, who is a higher rated recruit.
Well, both of their pedigrees too, because Cam Dyer, 2-time New Mexico Gatorade Player of the Year.
I will say, watching
and probably a transfer.
Watching Tollefson's tape, his star rating was underserving what I saw, at least. I think he's a very, very talented guy. Who knows what's going to happen?
They'll be in good hands.
There's always movement.
You want to know what the best situation possible is? Sam comes back and you don't have to worry about another competition the following year.
Depends on why he comes back.
No, I don't think it does.
For back-to-back national championships?
I think as long as he comes back,
this season
fine.
Was awful and Sam Leavitt's stock tanked?
That's not going to happen.
Well, there's only a couple reasons
Sharon
why he
brings
would
up
come
a
back.
good point. I think it is funny that we're going off Totri's pronunciation recommendation.
Yeah, you don't have to. I could be. I don't think I'm wrong here.
I'm just going to call him. I'm just going to call him Fetty Wap from now on, just to say. I'm
just going to call him Jake.
El Passer.
Jake
El Passer Fetty Wap.
Jake El Passer Fetty Wap, huh?
Yeah.
You're going to put that on
That's
a jersey?
His government name.
Must be
Get an NIL jersey.
Pain in the ass to fill that out on like a high school Scantron or something.
Goes like, and it like loops around.
Oh my goodness.
Let's go to break.
Yeah, we can go ahead and go to break here.
Do we have to talk about baseball? We just went right into it.
What is going to make this baseball conversation even better for you at home is if you have some Pure edibles laying around, just pop them right now, and then this baseball conversation is going to be 10 times better. Look, Pure edibles, they're not covered in sugar like all of their competitors. I don't know about you guys. I know Erik and I have definitely had some edibles in the past that just taste too much like weed, and it really it's a turnoff for the whole experience. But when we're talking Pure gummies, again, they're not covered in sugar, but that doesn't mean they don't taste like candy, right? Pure is a full-fledged candy company offering gummies, kicks, which are their version of Starburst, chews, soft candies like caramel, and hard candies as well. Plus, Pure lists their effects on each tin so you know exactly what effects you guys can expect. Rubus, do you have a favorite effect?
Sleep.
The sleep support? Yeah, there you go. The sleep support gummies are going to have you honk-shoeing before you know it. Plus, maybe you don't want to take the entire gummy. Maybe that gets you too high. Maybe you're just a 2-biter and you want to save some for later. Well, Pure gummies are designed to be ripped or bit in half, making them easily shareable or easy to dial in your exact dose. Go find yourself some Pure Edibles products from one of over 130 dispensaries across Arizona.
After work yesterday, I was like, I'm going to just go play basketball. It's not a win. I'm going to go play basketball. And I had my Brandon Bills PHNX hat on, and it felt so good on my head. I was hooping it up. Shout out Jaquam and Ye, who I hooped against.
Jaquam and Ye, huh?
King. Great names, and they loved that.
Were they all on your team?
It was 2-on-2. So King was on my team. But you know who's always on my team? Brandon Bills. Snapbacks, truckers, fitted, beanies, or tees. Brandon Bills has you covered with performance and style. And if you're looking for gear to make your brand stand apart from the crowd, Brandon Bills has you covered with the best custom headwear. They have partnerships with amazing schools like Arizona State University, and they do charity work with lowly schools like the University of Arizona. They also partner with the Phoenix Suns, and they're a local company out of Mesa, Arizona. So right now, you can get 10% off your first order. All you have to do is head to brandonbills.com. Use code BBPHNX for 10% off that first order.
Should we do the thing where we talk about baseball now? No, you don't want to talk about baseball? Let's just a quick kid around baseball.
Let's not do that. That sounds horrible.
Well, tell them not to lose.
Well, they already did that.
Tell them not to get shut out by BYU.
It's not the chats and the listeners' fault.
That's true. It's not Chad's fault that ASU Baseball.
And it's not my fault either.
Yeah. Well,
it might be your fault.
It might be, yeah. It might be on you.
You were supposed to be batting third today.
ASU Baseball lost 2-0 to BYU.
So pathetic.
First shutout of the season for
Great
ASU
timing.
in a postseason match. Obviously, this was a game that you needed to win to really stamp your NCAA tournament bid hopes. And ultimately, you fumbled the bag here. One of the best offenses in the country as it relates to college baseball put up a stinker. I know there was a point in the game where they did an in-game interview with Willie, and he was talking about how early the game time was. For me, I don't think that's an excuse. Not saying that he listed that as an excuse, but if it is, it's lazy. You got to have these guys ready to play baseball. If you know this is happening, which you knew for days, like you got to be ready to play whenever they're telling you to play. So, and the pitchers, for the most part, came dialed in. 18 strikeouts for the 4, I believe, ASU pitchers today, which really, really solid. Now, they did give up 8 walks. One of those was a walked run, so not ideal. But overall, I don't think this game falls too heavily on the pitchers, more so the bats not being able to actually wake up.
So we have a diehard, Chris K, very active diehard, and they posted an email that they sent to their brother, and that them and their dad went to 10 ASU baseball games this season. It's long, but I think it captures everything that's going on with this fan base and this team. So little story time.
Let's do it.
This is from Chris K in our diehard Discord. You can become a diehard today. ASU lost to BYU 2-0 and are out of the Big 12 tournament. ASU had not been shut out in any game all season until today. They've lost 4 straight games after not losing more than 2 in a row earlier in the season. ASU was the best hitting team in the Big 12 in almost every category. BYU was the worst pitching team in the Big 12 with an ERA of 7.22. No one would know it today. In the first 7 innings, ASU had 0 runners in scoring position. ASU pitchers had 18 strikeouts and 8 walks and 3 hit by a pitch, gave up 2 runs on 5 hits. BYU pitchers had 2 strikeouts and 0 walks, gave up no runs on 6 hits. BYU stranded 14 base runners. The score could have been a lot worse. ASU starter Ben Jacobs only went 4.1 innings and struggled a bit, had to throw 93 pitches, so they pulled him. Cole Carlin came on through 1 2/3 innings with 4 strikeouts and 5 walks. Carlin walked in a run with the bases loaded. Carlin's last few appearances were not nearly as good as he was before. I think they overused him down the stretch. Earlier in the game, a couple of ASU players slipped on the turf and stumbled around trying to get to the ball. Tim Healy said, quote, "I think ASU needs to brew a big pot of coffee in the dugout. They need to rise from their slumber," end quote. Playing at 7 a.m. Phoenix, 9 a.m. Arlington time. ASU swept BYU in the regular season by 36-13. Games were 8-3, 12-4, 16-6, the one with 8 total homers, including the 10-run inning with 6 homers. ASU went into Oklahoma State series in second place in a first-round bye for a top 4 spot. They left the series in 5th place and having to play a first-round game early in the morning. BYU barely sneaked into the Big 12 tournament by going 3-1 over the last week. This was an epic collapse down the stretch of the season. There's more, but also says ASU had just 4 losing seasons in history, 3 of which have come since 2017. And in 2024, for the first time since 1959 to 1963, ASU missed the postseason for a 3rd season in a row. If they miss it this year, it will be 4 in a row. Every one of Willie's seasons has been ASU blowing it down the stretch. In Willie's time in the Pac-12, ASU was 2-5 in the Pac-12 tournament, then this debacle today. This is by far the best team Willie has had. This is his 4th season. There is even more, but if that doesn't share what the fan base and what people are thinking about Arizona State baseball right now, I don't know what does.
So is he gone? Is he gone only if they miss the tournament? You can't lose 4 in a row, get bounced in the first round of the Big 12 tournament, and miss the NCAA tournament for the 4th consecutive year.
So, but what if you make it and you get blown out? Then it's fine.
I mean, that happened to ASU softball. They didn't get blown out, but they lost.
I feel like they're in a little bit of a different position.
How?
I mean, I
guess
they
were in the same exact position as Willie.
I hear you. I hear you. It's tough.
It is tough.
Willie's an ASU legend. ASU baseball is a very prestigious program, and it just hasn't been up to par. And, we've been talking about having to send a message with basketball, right? And that you can't accept what your standard isn't.
Yeah.
And ASU baseball, and JJ said it, is the historic standard of ASU athletics. So this sucks.
Yeah, it absolutely does suck. I think it's going to be a very interesting weekend to see where Arizona State ends up, if they end up. You got to remember, going into the Big 12 tournament, D1 Baseball had them as a 3 seed in the Atlanta Regional. As it stands right now, you got to hope and pray that there aren't any bid-stealing teams across the Power 4 that are going to go take your spot that shouldn't. So ASU Baseball had overall a really solid, full 80% of the year. And then it seems that they have kind of choked down the stretch. Again, losing to BYU 2-0. This is a team in ASU that swept BYU during the regular season. If you don't make the NCAA tournament, then I do think a conversation needs to be had. Not saying that he would get fired, but a conversation does need to be had of like, okay, what is the standard next year?
Yeah.
And this is kind of the line in the sand of like, if you don't do X, Y, and Z next year, then yeah, we're done.
And JJ pointed out, I guess just my final point on this is the NIL for baseball has not been in a great place. Willie has publicly gone out and said that multiple different times. You got to invest in the program for the program to be good, but NIL was not the reason why they blew so many
absolutely
games
not.
At the end. There was a lot of mismanagement.
This was one of the best. This is the best team Willie's had.
Yeah,
they
a lot
had
of
more
mismanagement.
They had more all conference, like first team players, I believe, than anybody else in this conference. They were like a game or two away from being a 4 seed and getting a bye in the Big 12 tournament. And now you're a 5 seed, you get smacked in the mouth by a 12 seed, and you got to go home. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It is Wednesday, so it is time for a little bit of a snake draft. And Rubus, you won the color snake draft.
Of course.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So today, with summer approaching, we are going to be drafting summer activities. Sound good to everybody?
I am interested to see where we go with this one.
Rubus, what pick would you like?
I will take the number 1 pick.
So you think there's a clear 1-1
here? Here's the thing. You can, news to everybody, you can do activities year round.
You can do that,
And
yes.
so the couple of things that popped to my mind were like, oh, well, that's something that's nice to do in the summer, but is that like you got to do it in the summer?
Okay.
Right? My number 1 pick, you got to do in the summer.
Okay.
So I'm ready.
Deli Man, you're going to go second because I came in second of the color draft, so I'm going to go third here. So without further ado,
chat.
Yeah, we will hide chat. Without further ado, Mr. Rubus, Professor Oates, Passenger Princess, you are on the clock.
This is an easy choice. It's swimming.
Yeah.
It's
Swimming is 100%. Now, I think you could have framed it differently than you did, but that's just a young player in this league.
How would you have?
I mean, I think you'll find out as the snake draft goes along. But it's a solid pick. It's a solid pick. But as a young player in this league, I think that could potentially be a mistake.
Are you saying like water sports?
I think there's water sports, but you did swimming. You didn't specify. Like, are we?
Because I'm going like being on a boat.
Yeah, being on a boat is great.
Like on a boat? Boating?
Yeah, boating. 100%.
Sure.
Boating is a solid summer activity. I'm going to go ahead and do a beach day.
Sure.
A beach day is a solid summer activity.
Where?
Anywhere.
Not LA.
Not LA.
Sacramento.
Yeah. Beach day.
Apparently.
Beach day in the sack. We're going to go beach day.
Sure, man.
And then on the come around, I'm going to go ahead and give me a good old backyard barbecue.
It's a good pick.
Barbecue's great. Barbecue is, that's the right answer.
We all have a lot of water involved though.
Yeah, well,
everything in that first round was water.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best thing to do. How about like, this is tough because it's not really an AZ thing. I did not prepare for this draft.
No, me either. I'm already
done. It doesn't have
done.
to be an AZ thing.
Yeah, I know. Well, duh. Beach day. Let's go like s'mores, marshmallows.
Okay.
Okay.
Like a campfire type vibe?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm here for that. A little bonfire.
Bonfire? No, it was just s'mores.
Just s'mores.
Yep, just s'mores.
We're just s'moring it up.
Just s'moring it up.
Is there an apostrophe somewhere in s'mores?
Yeah, I think so.
I think
it's some
S.
more.
Yeah,
is what
s'mores.
it is.
What's s'mores short for?
Some more.
Okay. Rubus.
I mean, I think bonfire is a good shout.
Stop saying shout. You're from Arizona.
Bonfire is a good shout.
Jeez, that's horrible.
I'm really bad at accents.
You are.
I'm about to say something I can't say. Yeah, give me a bonfire.
I'll take a
bonfire. And then
wow. It feels like you and Shane are just hanging out. Like that's
a bonfire in there, and like for our AZ fans is probably not something they're going to vote on, but go off, King.
A s'more fire.
S'more fire. Give me day drinking.
Okay, solid.
Yeah.
This is definitely college vibes though. College Rubus. This isn't like current Rubus.
Current Rubus will throw down during the day.
Well, we're still working.
Yeah, no, I will throw down at work. Don't you worry about that. How do you think I bring the energy every day?
I guess that's valid.
People don't see. I have a 40 right off screen.
Yeah. Dear Lord. What do you got?
Me and Erik are totally just hanging out. I'm going to go pool party.
Okay.
Yeah,
pool party's a great one.
Yeah,
pool party's a great one. We're totally just hanging out.
Totri's by himself on the beach. Shane and I are just having a great day.
I'm doing my own thing, man. I'm doing my own thing. Okay, for a summer activity, give me something I did just about every single weekend last summer. It may get some heat because it's going to be hot outside, but I love golfing in the summer. It's the prices are 10 times cheaper.
I'm with you. Hot golf is great.
Hot golf is really great because I mean you're getting a tan out there, like
and like sure, like standing over the ball, you might be dying, but once you get in the cart, like
you're chilling.
Wind hits you.
The beers are flowing.
The beers are flowing.
You just ripped one down the fairway, like
well, maybe not.
You ripped one into the rocks.
Yeah, maybe into somebody's house. You're now apologizing to somebody.
100%. But you're having a good time. Right? Yeah. That's 100% what it's all about. Okay, summer activity for me. Give me going to a baseball game.
Oh, that's good.
That's a good one.
You got it. You won. It's over.
Yeah, you got one right there. This one might be yours, man.
That stinks.
And that was calling it right there.
I mean, beach day barbecue golf.
And that was just
game. Great. This might be your best.
That's a great four.
This might be your best draft ever.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
And I feel like that was just kind of a throwaway.
It was because I'm not a huge baseball guy.
Yeah, you're not allowed to pick baseball.
But every time I've actually gone to a baseball game has been during the summer.
I'm now doing research, and one of the things is paint rocks. Perfect.
Dear Lord, is that where you're going with your next pick?
No, I'm going to go camping.
Camping's a solid one.
Yeah. Because it's good for here too. You can get out of the heat.
So where are you going, Rubus? What's the adjacent of camping since you and Shane are hanging out this summer?
This is so funny. Some of the things that I see in my research is blow bubbles, build a fort,
you bubble blow,
build an obstacle course. Man,
you want a website for babies?
It's just what came up on Google. Man. Travel?
Yeah, so
travel.
Yeah, travel
during the summer. And then my final pick, give me hard drugs. No.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Oh, jeez. Swimming, bonfire, day drinking, travel, and
you can do it.
Huh?
I said you can do it.
I don't know, man. I'm thinking maybe tubing, but I don't know if that's too similar. I feel like I'm missing something big.
I mean, I feel like you've got a lot. I feel like you've got big activities.
Yeah.
Like you got things that are going to take up the day.
Yeah.
Like what's something maybe a little smaller that you can do?
I don't know. I like that you're helping me, though.
Yeah, I'm trying.
By the way, if you are watching on television, the party always continues over at PHNX.com. Go PHNX.com.
You're just making a website up now.
You would think I would know what our website is at this point, right?
What about, like, actually, I'm not going to help you.
Yeah, what are you doing?
No, you should help me.
No, I shouldn't help
you. should help me.
Come on, buddy.
You should
You
help.
can do it. You're a big boy.
You got 10 seconds before you forfeit your pick.
Just give me tubing, I guess. I don't love it.
Tubing's great. Over tubing's great here.
Tubbing around.
Shane, bring home your final pick here.
I'm gonna go fly a kite now.
That's great, Vic.
Is ice cream an activity?
No,
There is, but you gotta. I mean, like a creamistry.
Whoa. Huh? What?
Whoa.
That's a thing.
I know, but that's not like a thing.
What would you say? Go to ice cream?
Like get ice cream.
Get ice cream.
I guess just get ice cream.
Or should I take my sweet boy amusement parks?
You
Is
could
that
take
a summer
amusement
thing?
parks.
Dude, amusement parks in the summer though,
Yeah,
it gets a little too hot.
It gets hot.
Amusement parks are like a really great fall activity.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get ice cream.
Get ice cream's a good pick. Make self-care a priority is what Google says. Summer activities for adults. Make self-care a priority.
Can I get make self-care a priority, please?
Host a board game night.
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
I am gonna do, and you could tell me if this doesn't work.
Oh boy, here we go.
Well, no, I think it's similar in a sense to travel, but I'm gonna say like a road trip.
Yeah, that's too.
Yeah,
similar.
Is that too similar?
Yeah.
Okay.
About Big 12 Media Day. Going to Frisco.
Honestly, summer activity. I have a lot of fun at these media days.
Do not take Big 12 Media Day.
I'm gonna take
Big 12
I'm
Media
gonna
Day.
take your sweet boy that you passed out. I'm gonna take the amusement park.
That's kind of not.
You just said that's not a good summer
Okay,
activity.
then give me
Big 12 Media Day. Do Big 12
No. Give me a concert. Give me a good old summer.
We all know that you can only go to concerts during the summer.
Give me a summer concert.
All right. Here's the draft.
Good drafts all around.
No, this draft kind of sucks.
What'd you get, Rubis? For everybody listening on.
I had a great day. Swimming, a bonfire, day drinking. Then I'm traveling to go tubing.
And you weren't driving, right?
No. I'm
no.
taking an unsponsored car.
I went boating, then had some s'mores, and
S'mores
then I went to
2-2
a pool party. Is what?
S'mores 2 over pool party is interesting. You still got pool party though. Sorry.
Then I had camping. Then I had get ice cream.
Yeah, but you had a solid day.
Lots of sweets.
Yeah, a solid day.
You don't have enough time to do it.
I don't have enough time to do all my things in one day, but I'm having a great week. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
I got a beach day.
Can you imagine trying to rip all of these in one day?
One day.
You'd have to have the barbecue on the beach while also playing like golf. Somehow.
Yeah. Or you could just do an early tea time.
Wake up early, play some golf. Afternoon beach day barbecue. Go to a baseball game
with a concert at the end of the game.
You'd have to,
or the concerts during the game.
Yeah, that's a hell of a day. That is a hell of a day.
Crazy
but do you
day.
see where like you kind of went wrong with swimming right off the top? No, you don't think so?
No, I
Or you
stand
could
by
have
it.
totally got other things.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Guys,
Could have
that'll
gotten
be
make self-care a priority.
on PHNX _ Sun Devils on social for you
just
guys
skipped like
to
half
vote.
your outro.
I'm getting there, okay? Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. If you enjoyed today's content, or if you didn't, then give us a follow at PHNX _ Sun Devils. You can follow me and Anthony _Totri. You can follow the man who loves to just swim at Erik Ruby. That's Erik with a K. You can follow the deli man who loves s'mores at Shane Dief.
You just
I did. Just carry on.
As always.
And we will see you guys on Thursday. In the meantime, go Devils. In peace.
We all silly like the mayor.